What is the best way to organize complex data with JavaScript objects? Imagine trying to keep your closet tidy with clothes, shoes, and accessories all mixed together. Now, think of JavaScript objects as your closet. How do you keep everything neat and easy to find? That's what we're here to figure out. JavaScript objects are like containers that hold related data and functions. They store information as key-value pairs, where keys are property names and values can be numbers, words, arrays, functions, or even other objects. This makes objects very flexible for representing real-world things like a person, a product, or a location. The simplest way to create an object is using curly braces and writing properties directly inside. For example, you can make a person object with name, age, and email. But as your data gets more complex, you need better ways to organize it. One smart method is using composition. Instead of stuffing everything into one big object, you break your data into smaller objects and connect them. For example, a person object can have an address object inside it. The address object contains street, city, and country. This way, each piece of data is separate but linked, making your code cleaner and easier to manage. You can also use classes to organize data. Classes are blueprints for creating objects with specific properties and functions. When you design a class, you focus on one purpose, like managing products or users. For example, a product class can have properties like name, price, and stock, along with methods to update stock or calculate discounts. Using classes helps keep related data and actions together, making your code more organized and reusable. Inheritance is another pattern that helps when you have objects that share common features. For instance, a car class can extend a vehicle class, inheriting its properties like speed and methods like move. But you should only use inheritance when there is a clear a relationship. Overusing inheritance can make your code harder to understand, so sometimes composition is a better choice. Accessing object properties can be done with dot notation or bracket notation. Dot notation is simple and clean, like person name. Bracket notation is useful when property names have spaces or are stored in variables. For example, if you want to access a property with a variable name, you use brackets. You can also add new properties dynamically to objects, which makes your data structure flexible. JavaScript uses prototypes to share methods among objects efficiently. Instead of copying functions into every object, they are stored once on a prototype. When you create many objects of the same type, this saves memory. Modern JavaScript uses classes, which handle prototypes automatically, making it easier to work with shared methods. For more control over object creation, you can use object create. This method lets you specify exactly which object should be the prototype of your new object. It's useful when you want to set up custom inheritance chains or create objects without using classes. Naming conventions matter too. Use camel case for properties and functions, starting with lowercase letters. For classes, use Pascal case with uppercase first letters. Descriptive names like user email or product price make your code clearer and easier to understand. Avoid short or vague names, especially as your data grows more complex. When organizing data, nesting objects can help mirror real-world relationships. For example, a company object can contain an array of employee objects, each with their own details. But don't nest too deeply, as it can make your code harder to work with and slow down performance. Keep your structure simple and logical. Choosing the right pattern depends on your needs. Factory functions are good for creating similar objects quickly. Constructor functions and classes give more structure and are better for larger projects. Classes are popular now because they are clean, fast, and officially part of JavaScript. Combining these patterns thoughtfully helps you keep your data organized, your code easy to maintain, and your project scalable. Start simple with object literal for small data, then move to classes for bigger, reusable structures. Use composition to build complex objects from smaller pieces, and only use inheritance when there is a clear hierarchy. This layered approach makes managing complex data straightforward and efficient.